Everybody pay attention to me, the Ross Report, JLO TV. Stories from behind the scene, information you can use like a thinking machine.
I'm Charles Street and you're watching JLO TV.
Hey Charlie, but now playing with Tori now, and then you play with JLO. What's the difference in the mindset, say, from playing, say, like 5,000 to 100,000?
For me, the mindset is the same. I'm more of a pocket player than a flashy drummer anyway, so both gigs.
But explain that to the cats that we don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I like to stay true to the record as much as possible, and also too, it depends on what the MD wants. You know, with Brian Ciano, the MD with JLO, you know, he wants sometimes, you know, more fills and fill it up, you know, fill up the gaps in the hole. So in my mind, or in my opinion, I'm a little more loose with JLO, you know, because, you know, or a little more choppy per se, you know, because then too it's you know, pop and dance music. You know, Tori is even though it's a little pop, it's still more R&B singer-songwriter, you know, and she just straight up murdering. So I'm the support anyway.
Right.
You know, I'm there to hold the groove down, and Tori is up there straight up going for blood every night.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Kicking tail every night.
Yeah.
She ain't playing around.
All right, y'all. First of all, I got to give a shout out to my boy Brian Ciano. What's up, Big B? But all right. Hey, now Street, now coming out of Memphis, man, and you and the rest of the cast, I got to give a shout out to my boy Brian.
Yes, sir.
I mean, Brandon and Stanley.
Yeah, Kyle.
And, well, see, I don't know Kyle. I ain't never met Kyle.
Okay.
But so, how was it, man, when you cats left Memphis, man? What was like the fear factor, man, in doing something this humongous?
Yeah. Well, first we went to go visit. New Genesis had some gigs going on, and me and two other friends of mine, Derek and Lance, we all, you know, wanted to go as well. I've always wanted to go to LA. I'd never been, so we just went to go visit. You know, it had already crossed my mind a couple of times, you know, like, maybe I should get out of Memphis. You know, I didn't know LA was going to be that place. But after that visit, like, when we were there, I was like, I can't even go back home. Like, I want to stay here. Like my spirit was just vexed. Like, it was on the inside, like that gut feeling like this is where I'm supposed to be. And I almost didn't get back in the car.
Oh, yeah?
You know, yeah. Like, but I had to go home and, you know, get my ducats in line and, you know, just do things in the right way.
Yeah.
And, you know, save my money up and stuff. And in 2 months, I was broke.
Yeah.
Slept in my car for a month.
Talk about it, dog.
Yeah, we went down through it. You know, anything the devil could throw our way to give up was thrown our way. You know, but it's 8 years now, almost 9 years. It'll be 9 years in February for me because I came a month after them.
Yeah.
It'll be 9 years, and you know, I know God is not done, but what He's done in 9 years has been mind blowing. You know, for young, you know, African American Southern men, you know, coming from, even though Memphis is rich in music, you know, our heritage, and you know, Stax Records, you know, High Records, you know, all these amazing musicians come out of Memphis, but you know, now the opportunities aren't the same anymore. You know, Isaac Hayes and Lester Snell and all them, they used to go stand out in front of Stax every day after high school, you know, till they let them in the door. We didn't have those opportunities anymore, so we had to go to the opportunities, you know. And of course, our other friends, a guy by the name of Wisdom, Brandon Diener, he moved to Miami, and he's doing well in Miami. You know, it was a big clique of us, maybe about 12 of us, you know, that all came up together. We were together like, you know, socks on feet. We was together all the time, every day, all day, slept together, you know. In the same houses, you know, pause. I said, pause. And, you know, we was together all the time. And our homeboy, Kenneth Whalum, moved out to New York, you know, and he's doing his thing.
Oh,
you know. It's a lot of friends of ours, you know, that was in that clique. I don't know what God, you know, now I kind of know what He had planned, because now we see, you know, the fruits of the labor, you know, coming in. But the whole clique, you know, we have been so blessed, you know, and somehow God navigated all of us together. Because I'm from one part of town in Memphis, they from a whole nother part of town in Memphis, you know. So it's just we all came together, you know, and still to this day we all like, you know, that's mind blowing that he put us all together, you know, and then we all become best of friends and we all venture out, you know, half of us go to LA, you know, and it's just like, wow.
Man.
Yeah.
But Charlie, I want to reflect back on something you said, man. I kind of want you to dive into a little bit, because a lot of cats, you know, right now considering moving to LA or Atlanta, New York. Man, can you kind of give them a little insight on that fear and your money situation, and, you know, kind of give them like the true, because everybody see you now playing for JLO and Tori. They're like, this dude killing. They don't know what you went through.
Yeah.
So kind of just a little bit more in depth on how you felt at the time, man. Was your stomach bubbling up? Yeah, butterflies. What your parents have to say about it? That type of noise.
For me, I knew what God was telling me to do, and actually, I was actually prophesied to. I was anonymously getting these letters from a church. I don't even know the name of the church. And
it wasn't like, Jackie Clark, was it?
Nah, exactly. Nah. What's up, cuz?
What's up, cuz?
They were, you know, telling me that God is trying to tell you to do something crazy, and He's blocking it, you know, from everybody else to see, because He wants to see if you're gonna follow Him and trust Him.
Man.
And I mean, at that time, I was wrestling with, should I go? You know, I just had my daughter. I was working at FedEx at night, playing drums at church, and it's like, this ain't the life I want to live, you know. And at this rate, it's no way I'll be able to pass down, you know, things and blessings, you know, for my daughter and her kids, you know, when she have kids. And I was like, you know, I got to do something. And they told me in that letter, if I moved, I mean, or if I was doing, they didn't know God was telling me to move. They said, if I do what God was telling me to do, He was going to bless me in 7 months.
Man. The
day of 7 months, I was subbing for Day, and I think it's called First Church of God. And Javad Day was subbing for Craig Brockman on organ. And that was me and Javad's first time meeting. And during service, you know, the pastor goes up and Javad's like, man, you sound good, bro. He's like, where you from? I'm like, man, I'm from Memphis, man. He's like, oh, how long you been there? I'm like, man, 7 months, man, today. He's like, oh. He's like, who you playing for? You know, I was like, oh, man, I'm playing with this band DW3. Shouts out to my boys DW3. I was like, man, I'm playing with this band DW3, man, around town. And I was playing drums on 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica. I would take my drums out on the street, because at that time I didn't have a lot of work. I was only subbing for DW3. So my only gig was being a street musician.
So you was hustling.
I was hustling.
That's right.
So I would take my drums out onto 3rd Street Promenade and play for tips, you know. And he was like, no, what gig you on? You know, he was asking me, and I was like, nobody. He was like, oh, you want to play for Shaka Khan? And I was like,
man,
no, I got something better to do. Of course I want to play for Shaka Khan. So, you know, he's like, oh, okay. He's like, hold on, let me call the MD. And I had already met Andrew Goucher, but he had never heard me play. You know, he only had seen me with New Genesis when we came to visit and all that stuff. So we get over there, I'm nervous as shit. I'm just like, oh, Lord. God, I wasn't prepared for this. You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, Goucher's like, yo, man, calm down, man. Just have fun. Let's just play. We started playing, and he was like, I can tell you a little nervous, but be at rehearsal tomorrow. So I have to give, you know, I know it was God, but God used Andrew Goucher to be the blessing to me.
Oh, man.
And the next day, I was in rehearsal, and 3 days later, I was on David Letterman. I mean, just like that.
Man.
You know? And I always tell people all the time, like, they're like, man, I'm thinking about moving out to LA and la, 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 la. I always tell people, your blessing might not be in LA. Your blessing can be in Nashville. It can be in Atlanta. It can be in New York. You know, it can be in Miami. You never know where your blessing can be. Pray about it and ask God where He wants you to go. Or your blessing might be in your home city.
That's right.
You know, He can bless you anywhere. You know, but I will say that's the strongest thing, because if you're gonna ever step out on faith in anything you do, whether if it's moving or starting your own business like J Ross TV, you know, you're gonna have doubts, you know, or whatnot, but you need that faith and that confidence that God told you to do it.
And
you take that to the bank.
Let me ask you this: do you think that most, well, not most, but just in your opinion, the percentage of people, man, who can just be they not, man, I don't want to say it like that, for lack of a better phrase, y'all, who like be their own man and follow through on something that God gave them? Because I notice a lot of folks afraid of the fear. You know, the fear factor kicks in so hard that they won't step out and do what they were asked to do by God, or something that they asked God for. Now, do you see that a lot? And then in seeing that, kind of put that into like, how does networking come into play with that?
When I first got to LA, I ain't know nobody. Brandon. Well, we always used to make fun of Brandon. Brandon knew everybody's name. He knew what everybody looked like. But his dad taught him to read the back of the records and stuff. You know, because his dad is a musician.
Read the credits.
So, read the credits. So, Brandon like, oh, that's such and such, and that's such and such. And that's how I found out who people were. You know, we all be like, are you an encyclopedia? Like, how you know everybody? You know, but I would recommend, you never know who's who. And somebody who sucked today might be amazing the next year. Always treat people with kindness. You don't know who they are or who they may know. You know, they can be that very person. I could have seen, you know, let's say Javad. I could have seen Javad somewhere at Cozy's or something, and I didn't like him or something, or I wanted to act like I didn't like him. He could have been the man that was, you know, we know he opened that first door for me, so what if I would have came in contact with him and treated him, you know, in a bad way?
Right.
He could have been the person that stopped me from walking through that door. You know, so you never know, you know, just as well as how, you know, people, how they treated us when we moved to LA. They were cool with us. Everybody treated us with kindness. Ethan Farmer, Alex Evans, you know, the cats that already were doing it, Goucher, Jerry Brown, all these people, they were just so, you know, accepting and, you know, like, hey, don't worry about it, just stick it out, you're gonna be okay, you know, and ask God to surround you around people who are gonna, you know, help lift you up when you're down. You know, when, just like you were saying, you know, that fear kick in, you know. Trust me, when I got on that plane, I was like, man, am I ready for this? You know, and then especially 2 months later, you broke. It's like, God, I don't think God told me to do this. I'm going home. Somebody give me a plane ticket. Somebody fly me back home. I lost my damn mind. It wasn't God. You know? So fear is going to come in, you know. I don't want to mess the phrase up, but it's a phrase that Will Smith was saying. Like, you know, fear is only, I don't even want to say it because I'm going to jack it up.
Well, I like to say fear is the mind killer.
Yeah, you know? He was saying, like, you know, it's not truth. It's the fear, you know, like you're something that may or may not happen. You know, you'll never know until you step out. You know, I always said I would rather step out and fail and know that I tried than sit here in the back and never try and be a failure regardless. Right.
I know that's right, dude. But yeah, so now what's up next for you? Because I know it's getting late, man. Y'all gonna have to start getting ready soon. So what you got? What's up for the great Charlie?
Right now I'm still doing this Tori Kelly thing. Still playing with JLO. JLO's about to get ready to do a residency in Vegas, starting in February, I think. You know, so whatever the Lord got coming my way, that's where I'm going. Wherever He take me, wherever He lead me, that's where I'm gonna be.
All right, well, give folks your Facebook, YouTube, website, wherever, so they can get up with you.
My website is www.charlesstreeter.com. My Instagram is @thestreeter, TheStreeter, and it's the same handle for Snapchat.
Okay.
Facebook, I'm about to create a second page because it's over friendly. I'm about to be like Aaron and Stanley and all them with 3-4 pages. Gordon Campbell with 4 pages. That's what I'm gonna have to do.
All right, y'all. This your boy J. Ross hanging out with the cat, the man himself, drum extraordinaire, Mr. Charles Streeter. Y'all, once again, he in St. Louis, hitting with Tori Kelly. We at the pageant tonight, y'all. We're gonna let him get it ready to roll up out of here. J. Ross TV, 10 million strong. We gone. Peace.
Turn it up. Everybody pay attention to me, the Ross Report, J. Ross TV. Stories from behind the scene, information you can use like a thinking machine.